guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do two looks with the new Huda Brown Obsessions palettes. I bought two of the three palettes, mostly because I'm a little bit cheap, but also because two of them really appealed to me over the other ones. So I picked up the toffee brown and the caramel brown ones. I'm going to do a look with each of them today, as we tend to do here on this channel. I hope you guys are looking forward to it, because I certainly am. The vibe of these is like really in line with my whole vibe of life right now. They kind of match my hair. They exactly match my phone case. And historically speaking, I have always gotten along really well with the Huda Obsessions palettes, so I'm pretty stoked to do these today. Before we get into it, there is still new Juicy Nudes merch linked down below. There should be a carousel there. It'll also be linked in the description. It was drawn by a very good friend of mine, and I'm so excited for it. Also, if you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe, because I would love to have you. And you might be thinking that it's too soon, and I would argue that you are wrong. You're wrong. It's not too soon. Also, please leave a like on this video, because it's very helpful and I very much appreciate it. And with that all out of the way and said, we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to get right into it. This look, the first one with the Toffee Brown Obsessions palette. Okay, so the ones that I picked up were Toffee Brown and Caramel Brown. I think I'm going to go into Toffee Brown first. I would also like to point out that it perfectly matches my phone case. Number 6, I'm going to go into this mustardy brown shade up here. It's a nice matte shade, and I think it'll look really great through the crease. This look is going to be, I think, very structured. I think that's the mood I'm in today. So I'm going to start by putting that right through the crease area, blending that up toward the brow. I'm going to take it up pretty high, because I think I'm going to do a cut crease in the center of like a more flicked out look. So bringing it up will give us a little bit of space to work that blend, and then we can cut the crease above the actual crease line and give ourselves that nice big cartoon eyeball that I like so much. I'm just going to grab a clean brush without any additional eyeshadow on it and just blend with that. Soften it up without actually adding any more color. I'm going to take the same brush, and I'm just going to use that to create that same shape on the outer corner, just bringing it up literally the way I would like a winged eyeliner, but with eyeshadow to meet that outer corner. Next, on a MAC 221 brush, I'm going to go into this warmer brown matte on the top. It's nice and dark, and I feel like it's going to do a really good job of deepening up this crease for us. Just making sure I flick that out in the same shape at the end again. I'm going to take the same brush and go back into that color. I'm going to pop some of that on the outer corner just to deepen the outer corner of the lid itself. And I'm going to do that in the inner corner too. All right, now that this softer structure is down, I'm going to go in there like a fucking architect and create more structure. That was a really bad analogy. I am nothing like an architect. I can't even act. I'm going to take my NABLA cut crease brush, and I'm going to grab the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer in the color White. I'm going to look ahead into the mirror with my eyes mostly open, and I'm going to use the brush to map out where I'm putting down that shape and cut a new crease. So this way I can see what the fuck it is I'm doing and how it's going to look when my eye is open. Because fun fact about humans, we keep our eyes open most of the time when we're out wearing makeup. And then once that shape is down, I'm just going to pull that down the lid. I was going to take a small brush with no eyeshadow on it and just tap and brush over the edges of that to blend it in with the surrounding shades. Obviously, we're going to blend more, but this just makes it easier. I'm going to take a MAC 242 brush. It's nice and flat and dense. I'm going to go into this matte yellow shade in the center of the palette here. And I'm going to pop that right over where we put down that white concealer. This brush is not doing it for me right now. I think it might still have some shit left on it from another look. So let me grab a similar brush. This one is from Alamar Cosmetics. Very similar, but I'm pretty sure this one's cleaner. I used the MAC one to test one of the Danessa Merrick's eyeglasses that I've been trying on my days off. And it still has like residue on it, which doesn't make it work well. Just fun fact. On that same brush, I'm going to go back into that warm matte brown. I'm going to pat that back around the edges of it just so that yellow doesn't take over the whole lid. I do want that to be more of like a spotlighty effect than like a whole lid shade. But that's the great thing about eyeshadow, is it's so easy to just adjust it, you know? To add even more structure and definition, what I did was I left a little tiny line of the white at the top of where I put down the yellow, and above that, I'm gonna take a very small brush. This is a Sigma EOS 6 winged liner brush, and I'm gonna go into the darkest brown in this palette, and I'm gonna use that to create a line right above that white so that the white has the most contrast possible. While I'm there, if I need to, I don't think I need to in this scenario, but it is a good time to adjust the height of that line if it doesn't match right with the other one. I think I need to adjust this one rather than this one. And then with a small blending brush, just blend that color into the other crease shades. I'm gonna go back into that same darkest matte brown on that same little blending brush, and I'm gonna put that in the outer corner. Now for the center part, this shade here, this one with a little bit of like the funky chunky texture to it, it kind of swatches as if it's gonna be a really pretty topper shade. I'm gonna use this MAC 220 brush. It's a nice flat little brush. You can almost consider it a lip brush, I would say. I'm gonna pick some of that up on there, and I'm gonna start where we left that little bit of white and just add that textury glitteriness there. Just set that line and then just softly bring it down over a little bit of that yellow, but honestly not over the whole thing. I don't want it to take over the whole matte area. I just want it to create a little bit of light and pop right there. I'm feeling very good about that actually. This is fun. Okay, I put on some concealer and powder, and I did my mascara. I have lash extensions on right now. They're like the DIY ones. I mentioned this last time, and a couple of you guys had questions about them, so this time I'm gonna link them in the description with like the rest of the stuff I use on my face. For the waterline, I want to do a little bit of like a reflection of the shape of the lid in the waterline itself. So I'm gonna grab Urban Decay Perversion pencils. This is like their deepest black, and I'm gonna do it on the outer and inner portions. And then in the middle, I'm gonna take this shade from the Raw Beauty Kristi ColourPop collection. It is called Marigold. Aptly named. So I'm gonna go with Marigold first, just right in the middle underneath the pupil, and Perversion on the rest. And for the rest of the under eye area, I'm gonna take a little Luxie 111 mini brush, and I'm gonna go into that deepest matte brown shade. I'm just gonna buff that under the lash line and sweep it up to connect that shape to the top. Then on a MAC 217, I'm gonna go into that nice toffee caramel shade, the first one that we used in this whole look, and I'm gonna use that to blend out the edge. Next and lastly, I'm gonna grab a small pencil brush from NABLA. I'm gonna go into this little champagne colored swirly shade over here, and I'm gonna pack that on the inner corner just as a little bit of an inner corner highlight to bring some life. The shimmers in this palette are beautiful, by the way. Everything is working really, really well, but the shimmers are like especially lovely. So initially I was thinking I might just do a juicy nude, but I'm gonna go full on glossy right now. So I think I'm gonna line my lips with the NABLA Close-Up Lip Shaper in the color Nude number 5. It's a little bit deeper on me, so it'll add a little bit of like depth and dimension and definition. And then what better look to use the Fenty Cream Lip Gloss in the color Honey Waffles. I just think this is gonna flow so nicely with these shades. So that's the plan, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm feeling mighty fine about it. And this is the first look. For the second look, I'm going to be using the Caramel Brown palette. This skews a little bit more rusty orange in my opinion than caramel, but you know what? I'm going to let it go. So I'm going to start with my BH number 7 as usual, and I'm going to go into this peachy tone in the top corner here. I'm going to start working that through my crease. I know I was complaining that this skews a bit more orange than caramel, and it does for sure. I mean, look at that. That's straight up orange. However, I do like orange tones. I feel like they are flattering on both my skin and my eye color, so I'm not mad about it. I feel like maybe they should have gone with something that was slightly more different from each other than caramel and toffee, because if you think about what actual caramel and actual toffee look like IRL, they are indeed quite similar. Just taking a clean brush and blending the edge of that. On a MAC 221, I'm going to go into this deeper matte brown. I'm going to work that through the crease too, just keeping it a little bit slimmer and more concentrated. I'd say that these mattes blend really, really nicely together, especially. Like, they're easy to blend out on their own, but one next to the other, they are a delight. I'm going to take a little bit more of that same color and just put it on the outer corner of the lid, connect it to the outer portion that we put down in the crease. I'm thinking that that looks like it's going to bring some balance to the situation, because I'm going to be real with you, I'm not 100% certain where I'm going with this just yet. But I do think I want to cut the inner corner. So I'm going to grab my white concealer again. I'm going to pop it on the back of my hand. I'm going to take my little cut crease brush and just cut the inner portion above the natural crease line and tap over the edge with my finger as usual. So initially I was thinking I wanted to go into this shade right here because I did dip into that with my finger, and I think it's a really, really pretty color. It's got like this peachy base with a little bit of like a flaky caramel colored glitter in it. It's really, really pretty. But I think initially what I'm going to do is go into the center shade here and create the inner corner with that, because I feel like it's a little bit more caramel-ish, and it's going to actually make this be more of like a caramel look. Maybe I'll add some of the other one next to it. Just going to place it down where we put that white concealer. And apparently nothing's going to happen. What's going on here? There we go. I had to pick up a lot on this brush to make this work though. Just a little note there. And on that same brush, I'm going to go into that shade that I said was pretty in the lower corner there, and I'm going to put that over the remaining part of that concealer. I can see me wearing that by itself, just like over my lid with some lashes and like a nice gloss on like a Saturday afternoon, you know? And just to blend that shade into the deeper shades on the outer corner, I'm going to go into this top middle shade right here on that same MAC 221 brush. I'm just going to tap over that and blend them together. All right, I did my concealing for the day, and I am going to put a brown through the waterline. I'm going to grab Woodsy from the Raw Beauty Kristi ColourPop collection, mostly because it was just the first brown that I saw, and I think it'll go nicely with this because it's sort of warm. So it's going to run that through the waterline. Same MAC 221, I'm going to go into the darkest matte brown in here again, and I'm going to run that underneath the lashes, sweep it up to meet the shape at the top. I'm going to bring it down a little bit on the low side because I am going to go in with one more darker shade. So on a clean pencil brush, I'm going to go into this darkest brown shade in this palette. This seems to have a bit of like a shimmery finish. Maybe satin would be more appropriate, but I think it's going to be nice underneath the lash line anyway. Get right in there. And I'm just going to flick a little bit out past the end of the eye, just to like give it a little bit of lift. I don't want it to be necessarily like a winged eyeliner kind of a look, but I do want that shape to just kind of. And finally, on a Luxie 111 mini brush, I'm going to go into this shade here on the top. This is one of those swirly shades. I'm thinking this is going to come out like a satiny champagne, and I'm going to use this as an inner corner. But I don't really want it to take over. I just want it to sort of blend into the browns on the lower half over here because it's already pretty bright from the cut crease on the inside on the top. I'm gonna skip lashes again because I still have extensions on, but I'm gonna go finish up my skin and then we will add a lip. All right, I finished up my skin. I'm feeling very glowy right now. I don't know if that was intentional or from just sweaty. Could be both. For the lip, I'm gonna do something matte because we're very dewy, we're very shimmering, and we need balance in our lives. So I'm going to grab the MAC pencil in the color Hover, and then I'm going to use the MAC Powder Kiss liquid in the color Mull It Over. I think these are going to be like a nice neutral, but with a little bit of warmth to it still, and it'll go lovely with what we've got going on the rest of the face. And this is the second look with the Caramel Brown palette. Okay, so after doing these two looks, my thoughts are as follows. Both of these palettes, quality-wise, absolutely beautiful. The packaging is really, really sleek and nice, and I feel like it's very chic, it's very on trend. I love tortoise shell. I know some people hate it. I really, really like it. So for me, those hit all the right marks. Of the two, I think I like the toffee one much better. I just feel like after using it, it was a little bit more interesting, but also this top shade in the middle here, I wore this just as a wash of color over my eyes yesterday. It was Easter Sunday, and it was really, really pretty, really, really easy to use. I found that the other brown shades in here were perfect for creating a really simple look around it. I like the little pop of toffee yellow. I think that that one is really on theme for the color theme of this palette. Caramel Brown one is a very, very pretty palette. I just wish that it didn't lean quite as orange because I feel like I have more of a pumpkin spice vibe right now than I do a caramel one. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like this look. I like orange shades on me, so I'm okay with it, but I'm not necessarily getting caramel from this. However, overall, as usual, these little 9-pan Obsessions palettes really, really hit the mark. Personally, I do wish that I could see them do these formulas and themes similar to this in their larger palette format. I feel like that would work out really, really well. But for now, I'll allow it. I do wish that instead of doing the third one just like plain chocolate and having it be super brown, it would have been like a cherry chocolate and it would have been like burgundies and browns mixed together. I think that would have been really cool, and if that were the case, I would have bought that one too. But they didn't, and here we are. Generally speaking though, I had a really good time with these. As far as neutral palettes are concerned, I think they were really fun. They were about as interesting as you can make a neutral palette, especially with only 9 pans in each one of them. So I'm happy with my purchase. I will definitely be dipping into toffee again, probably pretty regularly. Let me know in a comment down below what you think about Huda's little 9-pan palette, about brown eyeshadows in general, about these looks, about these palettes. If you pick them up, are you going to pick them up? Do you not want to pick them up? Do you have something else you think is a dupe? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Don't forget, Juicy Nudes merch is now available down below. You can click the carousel or click the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to leave a like on this video to give me a little bit of a boost and help me out both in the algorithm and also my self-esteem. And if you would like to come find me on Instagram and hang out over there and keep in touch between videos, I'm at Ms. Quinface, and I would love to have you. I do believe that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.